Hi everybody, Jay Mannion here at the NPC Photo Gym in Pittsburgh, but you knew that already. I am here for his first visit and his first road to the Olympia as a rookie, IFBB Men's Physique Pro.
Clarence.Mcspadden.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Now, Clarence had asked me about coming here and I was booked. Like literally, I have something every day I'm home for Road to the Olympia.
Completely.
And one of the other athletes, unfortunately, had a family thing happen and they had to bow out. I literally texted him like a week ago and said, hey.
At midnight, 12:30, I'm like, who is this?
And I'm like, listen, you asked me, I'm coming right to you.
Right.
So here we are.
Yep. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. How's it feel?
It feels great. I mean, you can smell the history in this place. Like, I love it, and you walking me through and telling me all the stories and stuff. Like, I'm just excited to be just in here, So, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw his Instagram from the night before, but by the time this airs, it'll probably be a few days back, but I see he found a place and he had this nice big burger meal. I was jealous. I'm like, where the hell is he here in Pittsburgh?
Oh, I love burgers. Like, there's a little spot up right across the street from the hotel, and I had a nice little refeed last night, so it came and went so fast, but it was actually really good.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people that are on prep are probably licking their phones.
Probably, and wondering why I get the little burgers.
Or trying to smell it.
It was great. It really was.
Yeah. All right. So, funny thing is, when I'm interviewing people, when I tell people who's coming in and different things, it's always the men's physique guys. They're like, well, where'd that guy come from? Like, where did he turn pro? And I'm like, okay. So basically what you could do is go to NPCNewsOnline, click on his name for the Chicago Pro, and kind of in the bottom right corner, it gives you every contest that he was in and even the years. Okay. But to save people some time, let's give them a little background on you.
All right, from when I went pro? Or?
Yes.
So I went pro in November 2018 in Miami, the Miami Nationals.
No, it's the NPC Nationals in Miami.
NPC Nationals, they did change it 2 years ago.
I don't like that hashtag. It's never Miami Nationals.
So that's what we're going to use now.
All right, interview's over.
So everybody that doesn't know, that's the name. Stop saying Miami Nationals because it's not.
Yeah, you can't say it this year. It's in Orlando.
Oh, that too. So I did. I had a couple other national shows that year, but I went pro in Miami in 2018. The other thing is I did my pro debut at Miami Beach Pro the following year.
Oh, so this is your second year.
So 2019 I did 2 shows. It was right after the cutoff for Olympia, but they counted for 2018. Miami Beach Pro, my pro debut counted for the year before, but it had already gone.
Right.
Yeah. So, and 2020, so I had already did 2 shows for the 2020 season. I did the San Antonio
So technically,
Pro.
in a way, because I do see you and a lot of people. So I always say that the Olympia qualification year, it's like in a business. It's where business ends September, the end of September.
Yeah.
So you were basically in the 2020 Olympia range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did one right before, which didn't count for 2020. Then my other 2 shows counted for 2020 right before, into 2019, so right before the new year. This year I've done 7 or 8 shows when, it's actually been proven pretty beneficial for me. So every time there was a show, somebody asked, are you going to do this? I was like, just assume that I'm going to be there,
Yeah, and it was down in Texas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That we had talked backstage a little bit, and you were talking about coming here.
Yep.
You know.
So I was like, well,
that was a tough contest.
It was. I think Texas was still 38 guys early in the season. The Wichita Pro, Southeast Texas Pro, even Tampa Pro. We still had 35 to 30. To 40. Pros.
And that Southeast Texas, the fact that it was put together in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was really last minute. But
yeah.
The way I will say this, the way that they set up everything and had everything for as far as COVID and quarantine and the 6-foot distance, they did a really good job down there.
Yeah, that's why I think we were all a little surprised how many people showed up. But it just went to show that everybody was dying to compete.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
We were. So, and even me, I was still in prep because I was supposed to do the Orlando, Europa earlier in the year. That's what I was actually prepping for.
Right.
Started in January of 2020 for prep for that, and then obviously, the whole pandemic. But we were like, well, me and my coach Calvin Williams were like, well, we'll just still keep training for the next show. Something's going to open up. Something's going to open up, and then it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back into the Salt Lake City Pro, or the Wichita Warrior Pro, so they're calling it this year now, opened up, and that's where it started for me. Yeah. But it's been a long year so far. It's still going on. It's not tired at all. So.
Yeah, I mean, you were out there building up the points.
Yep.
And the Chicago Pro was, that was do or die for everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys that hadn't competed all year that did the Chicago Pro and try to do a one and done. But there was still a lot of guys that I haven't met throughout the whole year that came to that show I was able to meet. So it's still a really good show.
Yeah.
And it was in Atlanta, hometown, so.
Yeah, just drive down the street, right?
Yeah, I did. It was great. Stuff in my own bed.
Yep. Yeah. So, how long have you been training with weights?
I started working out at all. It was around 2014. Started working out. I just wanted to put on some more mass. And, when you're not working out at all, everyone will say, I want to gain weight.
Yeah.
Well, me, I wasn't eating. That was my thing. I want to gain weight. How do I gain weight? I'll come in here and work out or whatever. But it wasn't that easy. So I started working out, started training. I got a coach, and we started working out. I was going to do the NPC Georgia in 2014. And me and my coach said, well, I can get you ready for the show, but you're not going to win. I said, well, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So we decided not to do the show altogether. We trained for a whole year. And then we did the NBC Georgia in 2015. Actually, that's even before Classic Physique. So I did bodybuilding. I was bodybuilding at the time, and I did juniors bodybuilding and novice. So I got the juniors bodybuilding overall. Plus, I think I got like second at novice, which is kind of weird. But after that, I was like, well, guess I'm a bodybuilder now. So after that, I just kept competing. The following year, I transitioned into Classic. I did 2 years of Classic Physique. The year after that, after I transitioned from Classic Physique, then I decided to do Men's Physique, and this has become home for me. I really like it, and
So it's normally people go from Men's Physique to Classic Physique.
Yeah, they go backwards, and I think that the way my physique is set up right now, I do have the legs for Classic Physique, obviously because I did Classic for a little bit. I'm building my upper body to match my lower body, but I like Men's Physique. I don't want to say it's like we don't train as hard as the Classic guys or the bodybuilding guys,
right.
Because we train legs. The majority of us, we train legs. We're in here hitting these weights hard, bench press, 315, 365, we're in here lifting.
Well, do you think because of your height, so you kind of have to catch up a little bit,
that too,
with the Classic?
Yeah, when you're a lot taller,
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11" and a half. It just depends on how lean I am, if I'm my spine is extended or not.
Or what tennis shoes you have on.
Yeah. 5'11" and a half with LeBron's on. So, but it really just depends. If guys want to go from Classic to Men's Physique, I just went the opposite, and I just found a home in Men's Physique.
Right.
I was crossing over my first couple of shows, Men's Physique to Classic Physique, and then I remember Sandy telling me, it's like, hey, dude, you got to choose one. You can't choose both. I was like,
right.
Oh, they're both really fun. So, okay, I guess Men's Physique now. And then, that's what I went pro in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good choice.
Yeah, it's a really good choice.
And the reason I asked about the height is because we got this Men's Physique guy here in Pittsburgh named Raymond Edmonds. Mm-hmm. And you might have heard of him.
Yeah, I know.
Who told me that since he won the Olympia, that Men's Physique is a tall man's game now.
It can be. If you stood next to Raymond, which I have, he's a big guy. And for you to have that type of aesthetic with that height and that weight, come on. So, yeah, I aspire to get to that point one day. He's really paving the way for a lot of us taller guys, when a lot of Men's Physique guys in the recent past have been, the shorter guys, really lean, small waist.
Right.
But, us taller guys have really small waist too, and now we can pack a lot of muscle on that frame. So, hopefully that's the direction that everyone's going. But like I said, Raymond's really putting a paving the way for us. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it feel qualifying for the Olympia in this crazy 2020? Let's be honest. It's been
honestly, because I qualified with points. Obviously, I didn't win a show, but I did every show this year besides one, border states within California, because I was still prepping for the Chicago Pro in Atlanta. I pretty much had to choose one or the other. But
right.
I mean, it was hard at first, during the pandemic, finding gyms to get to. I had a couple of close friends that had private gyms, not as, intricate as this, but enough that I can sling some weight around
right.
here and there, and it got me by. So, I was able to still do my cardio, still do my training, like I need to, stay on my schedule, make sure that I stayed on my food, which is one of the biggest things,
Right.
Even in Atlanta, I mean, during the pandemic, I don't even remember, food was scarce.
Right.
Meat was scarce and chicken was scarce, you were trying to eat rice, no rice, so you're eating cream of rice, you kind of had to tailor your diet for stuff like that.
Right.
But going through all that and still stuff opening up, and then also still being able to compete and flying with the masks and, the scarcity of, like I said, food, and people still afraid, to catch, COVID or whatever, it was pretty hard. It's scary
right.
for a lot of people, obviously, because it is real and it is here. But going through all that and still giving it my all, and then qualifying for Olympia in the same year, it was great. Like, I was bound and determined to get to Olympia this year. Even before the pandemic, I had told my mom last year before she passed. I was like, hey, I'm going to get to Olympia next year. I just turned pro, did a couple of shows, but next year I'm going to go to Olympia. So, this year has been, I told a couple of people, was dedicated to her. She passed back in January, so I'm like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's a part of life. You make your, you come to terms with it. It's very sad. But she was my number one supporter, so I was like, well, since she's never stopped, she was always a hard worker, always, grinding with her business and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. And I did, and it obviously proved beneficial. So,
right.
I'm ecstatic to get to Olympia. It's going to be my first one. It's not going to be my last one, I can tell you that. And I'm actually really anxious. I want it to be here right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're 7 weeks out, I think.
Yeah, about 7 weeks.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I should know that because everybody keeps saying that every day here.
Yeah, 7 weeks out. And 7 weeks out today. Today's Saturday, so I'm excited to get there.
Well, today's Thursday.
No, today is Thursday. Why I thought it was the weekend.
That's okay. Listen, Thursday's when they do the press conference and meet the Olympians.
Yes.
So technically,
I like this guy. Technically, it's Saturday.
Yeah. That 1 or 2 days. When you get to Vegas, it's just...
Yeah.
No, it's been fun to talk to other competitors that have been to the previous Olympias at the Orleans and the Convention Center. Mm-hmm. And you don't get to see that, but now you get to experience the whole Planet Hollywood thing that we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming into, as I keep saying, the new era.
Right. Right.
So new era, new competitors.
Right, definitely.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad to be able to be placed in that, in that distinguished group.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, question to ask you.
Yeah.
The samurai name.
Yeah.
Your handle and everything. IG. What does that refer
samurai
to?
Stress.
Come on. What's
well, for one, I have a huge samurai tattoo on my back, but the whole samurai thing was.
See, the funny thing is, because I normally see you with you either have clothes on or you have your tan, right?
Yeah, so you don't see all the
right.
Right now, I even have a samurai right here on my arm. But right before I started working out, I had family that lived in Japan. So I lived in Japan. I lived in Hachioji, Japan, which is technically Tokyo. It's just a suburb of Tokyo, Japan. And, I kind of just dived into the culture. I loved the culture. I loved the ancient stories and history that's behind the Japanese culture. And I guess it just, me being out there with family, it just kind of grew on me. I love that they're really into tradition. They don't change their ways, which is not a bad thing. It's not bad to be stuck in your ways, especially when it's part of history and it's part of your family.
Right.
And then, we went to I would peruse, the area. I remember one time I even got lost on the train because the train it's a monster in all of itself. But I went
in Tokyo.
Yeah, in Tokyo. So
I was in Tokyo back in 86, 88. Mm-hmm. Even then, I understand about the trains. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I was at a disadvantage too because of the language.
Yeah, because you have the kanji and then you have to have the English to kanji translation, and it's a
Yeah,
lot.
I remember they're going, no, you're not on the English train. I'm like, what's the English train, right? There's signs in English also. Okay, so it's really not a separate train, but it's
No,
a different.
just a different train.
Yeah, I kind of remember that from way back, and I was just like, I remember I ended up somewhere in Tokyo, and I got a little freaked out because I didn't know where I was. And I was by myself.
I remember so we were in Hashioji, Tokyo. I took the wrong train and wound up in Yokohama, which is like an hour and a half away.
Oh my God.
I have no idea where I'm at. So I'm calling, I have no idea where I'm at. I don't know, so I'm on my phone trying to do the...
Now remember, there was no cell phones or anything back in the 80s.
So it made it a little bit easier this way. I'm sure you were, really lost back then.
I was really freaked out.
Yeah. So, but like just being out there, so I just took on, the name Samurai. When I came here, my cousin, he got me a little kanji keychain that says Samurai on it. And then the shredded part is just, I always bring the conditioning. Every show.
I like that.
I always bring the conditioning. I'm always tight. I won't say I'm the biggest guy there. I won't say I'm the widest guy there. But when conditioning comes to play, as far as the show goes, trust me, I'm one of the top guys with the best conditioning, hands down. And I'll attest to that any day.
Okay, so I'm going to be like really cliched and corny and say, so
Yeah.
you're going to slice it up at the Olympia.
I'm going to use that. J.M. Mania said, I'm going to slice it up, samurai style.
There it is, right there.
That's my catchphrase. Slice it up at the Olympia. We make shirts.
I'll take an extra large.
I got you. Definitely.
All right.
You'll be the first one with one.
All right. All right, so is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to here?
Yeah, I would like to, definitely give a shout out to my coach, Calvin Williams. He's pretty much been there with me for, my whole duration of, my men's physique competing level. I've known him for a couple of years, but he decided to be my coach about 3 years ago. So I've been there with him. His team Physique USA is mostly based on the East Coast. Really good guys. Give a shout out to my family. My younger brother, he doesn't train yet, but this video right here, once he sees this, he's going to get him in the gym. Luther, get in the gym, bro. And everybody back in Atlanta, Jack Fitness, all you guys, you guys are definitely family. You opened up your gym to me, during the pandemic, so I really appreciate you guys. So, and everyone else that's really supported me, even to now, I'm not really big on, I'm big on social media, but I'm not big on the hype of all the followers. I like everything, generic. So everyone that does follow me and, has watched my story has sent a comment that said, hey, you're very motivating to me. And I'm like, well, I really appreciate it. If you need anything, shoot me a message. I'll talk to you. I'm a regular person. So, shout out to everybody. Shout out to JM for letting me come here, and train.
Literally at the last minute.
At the last minute. When he sent me that text, I think I text back yes. Right after.
Yeah, and the reason it was so late is because the person that had texted me was on the West Coast. So for them, it was like,
really
like 9
early.
o'clock.
Yeah. But when I got the text, I didn't know it was going to be this soon.
I mean, I literally told you, I said, I contacted you first. I mean, I didn't wait till 7 in the morning or...
Yeah. And I was ready. So, and then I think the next day I was like, hey, got my ticket, so I'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad you could make it here, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So we will see you in Las Vegas.
Yep. 7
and in
weeks.
Hollywood. 7 weeks.
Yes, sir. I'll be ready.
That's 1 or 2 days. Right?
Oh, yeah. It's on a Saturday, not a Thursday.
All right. So, J.M. Mannion.
Clarence.Mcspadden.
Signing out for NPCNewsOnline.com.